Yeah, sure, it's not the most perfect movie I've seen in the theater recently, but thanks to my younger brother who's watching this review right now, who's 4 years younger than me, that gave me the opportunity to see it 2 days after it released, it was a whole lot of fun nonetheless. I'll prattle on about that in a moment, but for now, let's unleash the carnage! Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the sequel to the 2018 Tom Hardy original, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. About Eddie Brock, played by, like I mentioned earlier, Tom Hardy, who's honestly a perfect choice for this role. Way better than Topher Grace's performance as the character in that horrid Sam Raimi sequel that will never be mentioned. That's for damn sure. Anyways, he's still struggling to adjust to his new life as the host of the alien symbiote, Venom, which grants him superhuman abilities in order to be a lethal vigilante. Brock attempts to reignite his career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Kasady, played by Haymitch from the Hunger Games, Woody Harrelson, who becomes the host of the symbiote Carnage and escapes prison after a failed execution. Now, first off, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the CGI in this movie looks superbly cool. Now, yeah, sure, the way that the camera moves along with Venom, if we're talking about the cinematography, it does kind of remind me of the first two Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, not the third one. Just a teensy bit. Not to say that it's a bad thing about the movie. In fact, I love seeing that on the big screen. But it's something that I have seen before. That's all. Now, when it comes to the film's camera work when the actors are being filmed on set for dialogue scenes, some of them are really interesting to watch, while other scenes, in terms of character development, they seem to drag a little bit, just a tad bit. It does not compromise on what made this movie fun to watch as a whole. I'll get to that later. But a couple of scenes in this movie tend to drag a little bit. No big deal. When it comes to the movie's use of dramatic and emotional scenes, the dynamic conflicted chemistry of both Eddie Brock and his alter ego Venom, some of their scenes are interesting to watch on screen, but at the same time it felt rushed just to fill up time, or at least that's how I see it. Not to say that I have a problem with their chemistry. In fact, in terms of the movie's comedy, they're both funny together. But it's just that, no spoilers. But when it comes to a certain scene where one person tells their alien friend, "You're too much of a distraction, I need to live on with my life better, I don't need you anymore," it just feels a bit cliche to me, just a little bit. Because we all know what's gonna happen afterwards. In fact, most movies like this have that. So at this point, I'm not that surprised. But to be honest with you guys, even though the problems that I have with this movie are still in here, it still doesn't change the fact that this movie was a whole lot of fun to watch. Granted, it's not one of the best Marvel superhero movies of all time or anything, if that's what you're thinking. Not at all. But I still had fun with this movie either way. In terms of story and plotline, it's your basic standard good versus evil story. Venom wants to take Carnage down and show him who's the better symbiote alien being in the known universe. Straightforward, simple plot. But in terms of execution, what makes it fun is, of course, the amount of action sequences put into this movie. And that's no surprise to me. That's what I came here for. And this movie gave me that in bucket loads. I was on the edge of my seat whenever a certain fight scene or chase scene is shown in this movie. I love a good chase scene. They're always my favorite. Now, when it comes to the direction from the king of motion capture himself, the guy that voiced Gollum in the Middle-earth series, as well as Snoke from the Star Wars movies, Andy Serkis. Not only is that surprising to know that, but I thought he did a fine job. Now still, he's no Sam Raimi or Ryan Coogler or anything, but for what he brought to the table in this movie, he still didn't do that bad of a job taking over as director. Tom Hardy, like I mentioned a few times now, was perfect as Eddie Brock, aka Venom. Michelle Williams also did good as his love interest, Anne Wang, although she's not in it that much. Woody Harrelson did amazing as the antagonist of this film. I feel like he was born to play a villainous role, to be honest with you. All the actors did a good job in this movie. Now, I won't spoil what happens at the very end, especially that after credits scene, but once you see it, trust me, it's something to look forward to. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, in the end, despite its shortcomings, I thought Venom: Let There Be Carnage was a fun superhero movie. It was action-packed, funny, entertaining, and brutal at the same time in terms of violence. I mean, it doesn't get too gory since this movie is rated PG-13, but still, it does get pretty gnarly. So if you have kids with you, make sure you cover their eyes during the intense moments. Just a heads up. But still, other than that, as a result, I rate Venom Let There Be Carnage a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, not the most perfect, but still not a boring movie to watch either. It's a very fun movie to watch. I highly endorse it. But still, if it's not your cup of tea, then I understand. It's not for everybody. Draw your own conclusions. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Have you seen it? If you have, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Was it a whole lot of fun to watch? Was it not worth your time? Answers down below, please. Also, if you like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share it with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos that I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out in a future video, just follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. And also, if you want to subscribe to my gaming channel, there's either a link in the description or at the icon card at the top right corner of your screen. Go over there, subscribe, and let's just have fun together. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.